Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into one of the most beautiful and talked about state quarters ever released, the 1999 Connecticut quarter. This isn't just a piece of change you might find in your pocket, it's a coin with history, symbolism, and some rare varieties that could make it worth a lot more than 25 cents. So sit back, relax, and let's go on a journey into the story of this remarkable coin. The Connecticut quarter was part of the very first year of the United States Mint State Quarters program, which kicked off in 1999. This program was a huge deal back then. People all across America were excited, and millions started collecting coins straight from circulation. Connecticut's design quickly stood out because of its striking image of the charter oak tree. The tree isn't just a random piece of artwork, it carries an incredible story tied to American history and the fight for freedom. The charter oak became famous back in the 1600s, when Connecticut colonists were ordered by the King of England to surrender their charter, which was basically the legal document giving them rights of self-government. But, as legend goes, instead of handing it over, they hid it inside the hollow of a large oak tree in Hartford. That tree became a powerful symbol of independence and defiance, and it's that very tree which we see so beautifully detailed on the back of the quarter. The design shows the great oak with its branches spread wide, almost filling the entire coin, reminding us of the strength and resilience of the American spirit. On the obverse side, as with all state quarters, we see George Washington's portrait, but it's the reverse that steals the show. Collectors instantly loved the bold design, and to this day, it's considered one of the most artistic of all the state quarters. But let's talk about what makes the Connecticut quarter so interesting in the world of collectors. Yes, millions were minted, and they circulated heavily. But, like with many coins, condition and errors play a massive role in their value. If you've got one of these quarters in pristine, mint state condition, especially those graded by top grading companies, it can fetch much more than face value. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have no scratches, no wear, and sharp details that make the design come alive. And then, of course, there are the errors. This is where things get really exciting. Some Connecticut quarters came out of the mint with mistakes, and these mistakes make them incredibly valuable. For example, there are off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and not properly aligned. There are double die errors, where parts of the design look doubled, giving the letters or details of the oak tree a strange shadow-like effect. There are also die cracks and cuds, where extra metal shows up on the coin in raised lines or blobs. These types of errors are rare, but when they appear on a coin from the very first year of the state quarters program, collectors jump at the chance to add them to their collection. Even more fascinating is that some coins were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the wrong type of blank coin. Imagine finding a Connecticut quarter that was accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet. Those are the kinds of oddities that bring jaw-dropping prices at auction. The Connecticut quarter is also memorable because it represents the early excitement of the state quarter series. People remember saving them, putting them in coin folders, and showing them off. That nostalgia factor gives it an extra layer of appeal. For collectors today, owning one in high grade or with an error is like owning a piece of history wrapped in both art and memory. Now let's get to the part everyone's been waiting for, the value. Most Connecticut quarters you'll find in circulation are only worth their face value of 25 cents. But if you've got one in exceptional condition, maybe even graded mint state, it can be worth several dollars to collectors. And the error coins? That's where things get incredible. Some rare error examples of the 1999 Connecticut quarter have sold at auctions for thousands of dollars. In fact, certain unique pieces have crossed the hammer for over $5,000 in the open market. So the next time you see a Connecticut quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at the details, check for errors, and if it looks perfect, hold on to it. You never know, you could be holding a little piece of American history that's worth far more than its face value. Top 2, we're talking about one of the most eye-catching and historically meaningful coins from the America the Beautiful quarter series, the 2011 Vicksburg quarter. At first glance, it may look like just another 25-cent piece, but hidden in its design is a powerful story of American history, and in some cases, a surprising amount of collector value. Stay with me, because this coin has details and rarities that every coin lover should know about. The Vicksburg quarter was released in 2011 as part of the America the Beautiful program, which honored national parks and historic sites across the country. This particular quarter pays tribute to Vicksburg National Military Park in Mississippi, a place that commemorates one of the most significant battles of the Civil War. The design is breathtaking. It shows the mighty USS Cairo, an ironclad warship that played a crucial role in river battles during the war. The image captures both the strength and resilience of the ship, as well as the importance of Vicksburg as the key to the South. Flip the coin over, and of course you see the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, but it's the reverse that captures collectors' imaginations. The fine details of the ironclad, the water, and the history it represents make it stand out among the 2011 releases. It isn't just a coin, it's a piece of artwork that ties directly to America's story of struggle, sacrifice, and victory. Now, what makes this coin especially interesting for collectors is not just the design, but the rarity and condition factors. Millions were minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, so yes, you can still find them in circulation. But like with any collectible coin, condition is key. Circulated examples are common, but uncirculated or high-grade coins, those that look brand new, with no scratches, sharp details, and full luster, are far scarcer. Those pristine coins are where collectors place the most value, and where things start getting exciting. But let's talk about what truly drives collectors crazy: errors. The Vicksburg quarter has been reported with some fascinating mint errors. There are off-center strikes, where part of the design is shifted, leaving blank spaces on the coin. There are double die errors, where parts of the ship's details or the lettering appear doubled, creating a shadow-like effect. Some coins even show die cracks, where raised lines appear due to breaks in the die, giving the coin a unique, almost accidental signature. Each of these errors makes the coin stand out, and collectors love them because no two are ever quite the same. And then there are wrong planchet errors, some of the rarest finds in the hobby. Imagine a Vicksburg quarter accidentally struck on a blank meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. Those oddities can turn a common quarter into an incredible rarity that sparks bidding wars at auctions. The nostalgia of the America the Beautiful series also plays a role here. Collectors know that this program only ran for a limited time, and each coin in the series represents not only a place but a piece of national identity. The Vicksburg quarter stands out because of its Civil War connection and its striking artwork, which makes it a must-have in any serious collection. So now, the part you've been waiting for, the value. A typical circulated Vicksburg quarter is only worth its face value of 25 cents. But in gem uncirculated condition, these coins can be worth several dollars to collectors. And the error coins? That's where things really shine. Some rare error examples of the 2011 Vicksburg quarter have sold in auctions for impressive amounts, reaching hundreds and even climbing into the thousands of dollars, with standout pieces selling for well over $2,000. So the next time you come across a Vicksburg quarter, don't just toss it aside as spare change. Look closely at its details, check its condition, and always keep an eye out for errors. You never know, you could be holding a valuable piece of American history right in your hands. Top 3, we're going to talk about one of the most patriotic and historically rich coins in the America the Beautiful quarter series, the 2013 Fort McHenry quarter. At first glance, it may just look like another quarter in your change, but this coin carries a story of courage, national pride, and in some cases, real collector value that goes far beyond 25 cents. So let's dive in and explore what makes this quarter so special, why collectors love it, and which rare versions can be worth serious money. The Fort McHenry quarter was released in 2013 as part of the America the Beautiful program, which celebrated national parks and monuments across the United States. This design honors Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine in Maryland, a site with incredible importance in American history. If you remember your history books, Fort McHenry was the place where, during the War of 1812, American forces successfully defended Baltimore Harbor against the British Navy. That very victory inspired Francis Scott Key to write the words that became our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Just think about it, the anthem we sing today has its roots right there at Fort McHenry. The design of the coin captures that very spirit. On the reverse, you see the fort's flag flying boldly against the sky, with fireworks bursting overhead. The image represents the celebration after the successful defense, a moment of victory and pride. It's a design that truly embodies America's resilience and spirit of freedom. Flip the coin over, and of course, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, as with all America the beautiful quarters. But it's that reverse side that makes this coin shine with meaning. Now let's talk about rarity and why collectors are interested. Millions of these coins were minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, and plenty were put into circulation. That means most examples you'll find today will just be worth their face value. But for collectors, the real hunt is for coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. High-grade examples with no scratches, strong luster, and perfect details are far harder to come by. Those are the coins that grading companies certify and collectors are willing to pay a premium for, but what makes things even more exciting are the errors. The Fort McHenry quarter has been found with several types of minting mistakes that can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and expensive piece. There are off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted. There are double die errors, where the lettering or parts of the flag show a doubled appearance, almost like a shadow. Some coins show die cracks, which appear as raised lines or extra metal on the coin's surface. These kinds of errors make the coin unique, and collectors always compete to own them. Even more rare are wrong planchet errors. Imagine finding a Fort McHenry quarter struck on a nickel planchet or another blank of the wrong size and metal. Those types of mistakes are incredibly scarce, but when they appear, they grab headlines and fetch massive prices. Beyond rarity and errors, this coin also has a strong emotional appeal. The America the Beautiful program was only issued for a limited number of years, and each design tells a piece of the American story. Fort McHenry's connection to the national anthem makes this coin especially meaningful, giving it an extra layer of significance that collectors and history lovers both appreciate. So, how much are these coins worth today? Well, a regular circulated Fort McHenry quarter is still only worth its face value of 25 cents. But in gem uncirculated condition, these coins can bring in several dollars each. And the error coins are where things really get exciting. Rare Fort McHenry error quarters have sold at auctions for hundreds, and in some cases, well over $1,000 when the error is dramatic and the coin is in top condition. So don't overlook this coin if you find one in your pocket. Take a close look at the details, check the condition, and watch for errors. You never know, you could be holding a little piece of history and a valuable treasure at the same time. Top 4, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that is both historically rich and visually striking, the 2016 Harpers Ferry quarter. Now at first glance, it might look like just another piece of change, but if you're a collector or a treasure hunter, this quarter could be hiding some surprises that make it far more valuable than 25 cents. So listen carefully, because the story of this coin is one you don't want to miss. The Harpers Ferry quarter was released in 2016 as part of the America the Beautiful program, a series that highlighted national parks and historic sites across the United States. This particular quarter pays tribute to Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, a site that has played a major role in American history for centuries. The design on the reverse of the coin is incredibly detailed and meaningful. It shows John Brown's fort, the historic building where the abolitionist John Brown and his men made their famous last stand during their raid in 1859. That raid, though unsuccessful, is remembered as one of the sparks that lit the fire leading up to the Civil War. The fort itself became a symbol of resistance and sacrifice, and its image on the quarter ties directly into the nation's long struggle for freedom and equality. The obverse, of course, features George Washington, but it's that reverse design of John Brown's fort that makes this coin so powerful. It's a reminder of America's past, engraved in metal, and carried in the hands of millions. Now let's talk rarity. Millions of Harpers Ferry quarters were struck at both Philadelphia and Denver, and they circulated widely. You can still find them in pocket change today. But condition is everything in the world of collecting. Circulated examples are common, but finding one in mint state condition, with sharp details and no wear, is much harder than it sounds. Those high-grade pieces are the ones collectors search for, and when certified by professional grading services, they can command strong prices. And then, of course, we have the errors. The Harpers Ferry quarter is known to have some fascinating mistakes that slipped through the mint. Off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted, can make the coin unique and highly desirable. There are also double die errors, where the lettering or parts of the fort's details appear doubled, creating a shadow-like effect that's easy to spot with the naked eye. Some coins have die cracks, with raised lines or extra blobs of metal that form during striking. Each of these errors tells its own story and adds to the rarity of the coin. Even more dramatic are the wrong planchet errors. Imagine a Harpers Ferry quarter struck on a nickel or dime blank. That kind of mistake transforms a common coin into an incredible rarity worth far more than face value. These oddities are scarce, but they're out there, and they keep collectors checking every coin they come across. The America the Beautiful series as a whole has a strong appeal because it's not just about coins, it's about America's landmarks and heritage. But the Harpers Ferry design stands out because of the deep historical weight it carries. For collectors, it's not just a coin, it's a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in the nation's past. So now, let's get to the part everyone has been waiting for, the value. A typical circulated Harpers Ferry quarter is worth just its face value of 25 cents. But in pristine, uncirculated condition, certified mint state examples can sell for several dollars each. And the error coins? That's where the big money comes in. Rare Harpers Ferry quarter errors have been sold at auctions for hundreds of dollars, and in some cases, certain dramatic error examples have fetched well over $1,000. So don't underestimate this coin. Next time you see a 2016 Harpers Ferry quarter, check it carefully. Look for condition, examine it for errors, and don't be too quick to spend it. You could be holding a little piece of history that's also a hidden treasure. Top 5, and last rare coin, we're diving into the story of one of the most beautiful coins in the America the Beautiful series, the 2015 Bombay Hook quarter. At first glance, this coin seems simple, but behind its shining surface lies history, artistry, and even the potential for incredible value if you happen to find the right one in your pocket. The Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge is located in Delaware, and this coin captures the peaceful, natural beauty of that protected land. The design is breathtaking, featuring a great blue heron standing in the water with another bird in the background. It's quiet, it's graceful, and it gives you a sense of stillness and wonder. Unlike some other quarters in the series that show forts, battlefields, or monuments, this one celebrates nature in its purest form, a reminder of how important conservation is in America's story. The obverse, of course, has the familiar portrait of George Washington, but it's really the reverse that makes collectors fall in love with this piece. The detail in the heron's feathers, the water lines, and the reflection of the natural scene show just how carefully this coin was crafted. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 2015 Bombay Hook quarter was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and also in San Francisco for proof and silver issues. Circulation strikes are fairly common, and yes, you can still find them in your change today. But as always in the world of coins, condition is everything. A circulated example may only be worth face value, but a pristine uncirculated Bombay Hook quarter can turn into something much more valuable when graded highly by professional services. Collectors especially love finding coins in mint state 67 or above, where every detail is sharp and untouched. The challenge is that most coins pick up scratches, dings, and marks in circulation, so locating one in flawless condition isn't easy. That scarcity in top grade drives prices higher, but what really makes this quarter exciting for collectors are the errors. The Bombay Hook quarter has been found with a number of interesting mistakes that slipped past the mint. Some coins show off-center strikes, where part of the design is cut off because the blank wasn't aligned correctly. Others have die cracks, little raised lines or blobs of metal caused by worn minting equipment. One of the most thrilling errors to look for is the double die, where parts of the lettering or design show a shadowy doubling effect. Imagine the word liberty or the details on the heron's feathers appearing doubled under magnification. That kind of mistake can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and highly desirable collector's piece. Then there are wrong planchet errors, which are incredibly rare but fascinating. If a Bombay Hook design was accidentally struck on a dime or nickel blank, the resulting coin would be a one-of-a-kind treasure. These unusual mistakes almost always fetch big money because they're so scarce and dramatic. Even proof and silver issues from San Francisco carry their own charm, since they were made for collectors and not intended for circulation. These coins often survive in stunning condition, making them attractive additions to collections across the country. So now comes the question you've been waiting for: what is the Bombay Hook quarter actually worth? Well, most circulated examples are still worth just 25 cents. But uncirculated pieces in top grades have sold for dozens of dollars. Rare error examples, especially dramatic off-center strikes or double dies, have been auctioned for hundreds of dollars. And in certain cases, unusual mint errors tied to this design have crossed into the thousands. So the next time you come across a 2015 Bombay Hook quarter, don't just spend it without a second look. Take your time, study its details, and remember that some of these coins carry far more than face value. They carry history, artistry, and the chance to be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed learning about this coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss another story of rare and valuable coins. Thanks for joining me, and as always, happy collecting.